Hello, I'm Brian Fox. Welcome to I Hate Rock Music. And today I want to talk about the band Paris. And Paris was a power trio that Bob Welch formed after leaving Fleetwood Mac. And so there's a lot of interest in the Bob Welch contributions to Fleetwood Mac on the Bare Trees and Mystery to Me records. And so it's great to see that people are kind of warming up to Bob Welch's work on its own, and a lot of people are responding, particularly to the second Paris album, which has a lot more of that same kind of feel of the work that Bob Welch did with Paris. But they got together in 1976, and I guess Bob Welch kind of chafed at his image as a soft rocker and being in Fleetwood Mac, and wanted to show what he was made of, I guess. And he apparently was a huge Led Zeppelin fan, so he formed Paris in 1976, and he put together an interesting lineup. He got Glenn Cornick, fresh out of Wild Turkey, and who was the original bass player, and Jethro Tull on bass. And then the drummer on the first album is Tom Mooney. Used to be in the Nas, and I don't really know of any other work that he did besides the Nas and this Paris record. But boy, he's a hell of a drummer, and it's a great record. The most of the criticisms say that it just sounds too much like Zeppelin, but I really don't think so. Certainly, Bob Welch doesn't sound anything like Robert Plant, and some of the riffs are Zeppelin-ish, I guess, in the material. But it's got Bob Welch's very distinguished guitar style to it, and the material is great. And there's some incredible hard rockers on there. It opens up with Black Book, which was just killer. And there's some really incredible churning guitar work on a lot of this stuff, and a couple of more progressive things like Narrowgate. But really wonderful record. And there's a promo single, Black Book, although seems to be pretty hard to find. And I also know there's a promo single from the second album, Big Town 2061, the title song of the promo single. And there's actually an Italian picture sleeve for Paris's Big Town 2061 too, for all you collectors out there. But they actually went out and played a lot of live shows. There's at least one great bootleg live show of them in Detroit in '76. That's pretty solid. The sound quality isn't great, but it's great just to have some live material by them. They pretty much sound like the first record, pretty stark. But I love that first album. Another one of those ones I heard on the radio, and I actually went out and bought new in '76, and then waited a year, and then Big Town 2061 came out, and that was the follow-up. And by that point, Tom Mooney was out, and they got Hunt Sales, and so people remember Hunt Sales. Of course, ended up playing with Iggy Pop and any number of other bands, but uh, the Sales brothers. And so Hunt Sales was the drummer on the second record, and it has a lot different feel. A lot of it's kind of funky, a lot of it's really airy, like the work that Bob Welch did with Fleetwood Mac. And a little disappointed at first when I got it, but I warmed up to it pretty quick because it's just such a unique band, and I didn't have any problem with them evolving. I remember talking to a guy at Capitol Records, and he told me that the Bob Welch solo album French Kiss actually started out as a third Paris record, and I'm glad it came out under the Bob Welch name instead. It's certainly a lot more commercial, and of course he had huge hits off the French Kiss solo record. But it would have been interesting to hear if there was a earlier version of some of the material on the French Kiss solo record that had been worked up by Paris, or perhaps it makes sense that they would have been moving in a more commercial direction. But that was it for Paris. On the Bob Welch website, it's interesting because there's a rehearsal version of them doing Led Zeppelin's Black Dog, not an easy tune to play. So it certainly reveals his affinity to Led Zeppelin. For those of you who like Bob Welch's work with Fleetwood Mac, I highly recommend Big Town 2061. For those of you who like pretty bitchin' power trio hard rock, that first album. And once again, that first album by Paris is dear to my heart. I never really had any problems with the Zeppelinish aspects to it. Thought it was killer then, think it's killer now, and very sad that Bob Welch, quite a number of years ago now, ended up killing himself. And I actually had some exchanges with his wife because I posted a video on YouTube about the death of Bob Welch and talked a lot about Paris. And so I was really surprised to see his wife show up and have a conversation with her. Uh, Very sad. But Paris, there you go. Once again, I'll post a sample on my Facebook version of I Hate Rock Music. Check them out if you haven't heard them. Well worth it if you like that kind of music. I still don't understand why a lot of people that review it out there find it to be kind of mediocre. I don't find it to be mediocre at all, and I don't have any problem with it being Zeppelinish. Certainly, there's a lot of Zeppelinish bands out there that have done well that people really like, and I think Paris should be added to them. So there you have it. One of the reasons why I love rock music is bands like Paris. I'm Brian Fox. Thanks for watching I Hate Rock Music.